So Gary Lineker has only gone and done it again, hasn't he? The guy simply cannot shut his mouth on social media regarding politics. He's even had his contract amended, enabling him to do so. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this. I'm all for free speech. However, nobody else at the BBC has this privilege. And the excuse he's using is that he is freelance. Well, the only employers that he works for is the BBC. And so his latest faux pas is that he has retweeted a pro-free plasticine account which called for Israel to be excluded or banished from world football, international football. Of course, as usual, this is very hypocritical of Gary Lineker. This is the guy who took £1.6 million in order to present the World Cup on the BBC in Qatar, a country known for human rights abuses. But why Israel? Why hasn't Gary Lineker called for the exclusion or the expulsion of Iran, a country that's effectively sponsoring and funding worldwide terrorism, Islamic terrorism in particular? Why hasn't he called for the exclusion of North Korea from world football? Because as we all know, North Korea aren't so keen on human rights either. And what about excluding South Africa from international football for their treatment of white farmers? Probably the only genocide, the real genocide, that's happening in the world right now and being ignored by the world press. But Gary Lineker doesn't give a toss about them, does he? Or any other country in the world that doesn't value human life at all. But no, it's only Israel, because Israel is the current thing, isn't it, to hate. And so my question is this: when on earth are the BBC going to deal with him? They're going to sack him and make an example of him. They really need to do something. Why have they allowed just him to be partial and biased when they advertise themselves as being impartial, fair and free? Of course, they're not free, are they? Hence the TV licence tax. But I think Gary Lineker obviously has the BBC top executives and the CEO over a barrel. And one thing before I go, he loves to comment on everything, Gary Lineker. Why hasn't he commented on Joey Barton's nuclear Twitter posts? Joey Barton's even called him out, saying, "I know where the bodies are buried." So obviously Joey Barton has something on Gary Lineker, otherwise I'm sure the great woke white knight of football would have said something by now. And there we go, I'll leave that with you. I'm Paz49, thanks for listening, and until the next time, Roger Trout.